one of the things, again, this is sort of partly ethics in this, is having gratitude and maintaining your hunger. Those need not be antagonistic,
Yes, yes, yes.
right? So having a little bit of, okay, I have done something, I have achieved something, because as you said, yeah, matlab, you're the first in your family to come to this point.
Yes, yes.
It's a great achievement, and somewhere or the other, you should give yourself a little sort of, pat on the back for that.
Yes, yes, I'm definitely happy. It's not like that I'm not. But at the same time, I don't want to sink in with that feeling that, okay, it's done now. Because
No,
the moment that thing will creep into my mind, I know I'm a lazy kind of person. And that thing will very, very easily go into my mind, and I'll not put in that much amount of efforts that are required again. And I'm quite sure that I'll face the biggest challenge at prelims stage only,
hmm.
because like that I failed twice. And even after this 96, I am not very confident regarding that. I know I am in a much more better position than I was in my earlier two attempts, but then too I don't want to, you know,
Take a
go
risk.
that thing in my mind. I want to, forget this 96 as soon as possible, so that I can again shift into that aspirant mode back. That is like very much necessary for me
I
right now.
think जो एस्पिरेंट मोड जिस चीज की आप बात कर रहे हो ना, तो there's a very nice जेफ बेजोस का एक कोट है इस पे, it's always day one. The idea of day one is that on a first day, you're just like, starting a company. You're in that founder mode, you're doing everything, सब कुछ करना है, सब जुगाड़, ये वो XYZ. As soon as it's day two, you assume you have done some things,
Yes, yes.
build on top of it. So there is a building in the Amazon campus which is called Day One.
Hmm.
So properly they have tried to put that into the Amazon company ka culture ki it's always day one.
Yes,
Everybody has to have that, and I think you also embody that quite a bit.
yes, yes, yes.
So थोड़ा intro अब कर लेते हैं. Hello and welcome everyone to UPSCprep.com. Today we have with us Aditya Acharya, who has secured AIR 96. So congratulations, Aditya, and welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, Aditya, please give us a little background about yourself. Where are you from? Where did you do your schooling, graduation, and like, what has your UPSC journey been so far?
Sir, I am Aditya Acharya. I belong to Jaipur, Rajasthan, and my graduation is in economics honors from University of Rajasthan, and
Hmm.
then I have pursued my masters in international relations from JNU, New Delhi, School of International Studies. And regarding my UPSC journey, this was my third attempt. Uh, I gave previous two attempts and I failed at prelims stage itself. This was my first mains and first interview, and like by God's grace and blessings of my family,
Hmm.
uh, I've secured AIR 96 this time, and like I'm very happy about it.
So I think you are another one of those toppers in the vein of, I would say, Dikshita Joshi in CSE 2022. I think some 50-ish rank. Then Akanksha Singh, last year CSE 23 mein she had AIR 44. And now you, in that, you have what it takes to clear the exam, but वो prelims में अटके हुए हो. तो दीपिका
Mm-hmm.
का भी स्टोरी यही था, दो बार प्रीलिम्स नहीं हुआ, तीसरी बार प्रीलिम्स हुआ, सीधा रैंक. आकांक्षा का he was much harder. She did not clear four prelims back to back. Fifth में AR 44.
Mm.
And for you as well, that has been the case. So what I'd like to know from you is what changed in your third attempt. Prelims को कैसे तुमने approach किया कि you were able to get through.
Sir, one thing is that I gave my first attempt in 2021,
Hmm.
second in 2022, and for 2023 I took a break. So that break was, I think, very much required for me to step aside from this UPSC stuff and think back that what I am doing wrong. And since I was doing masters in JNU at that point of time, so I met a lot of people. I saw them, I learned from them, and I had like a very good experience with them where I could learn that how people study.
Hmm.
So one thing was that I think I was studying in a lot. I was, sitting for like 10, 12 hours, but that 10, 12 hours like were not very much efficient in that manner. So one thing I did in this attempt was that I would not, study consistently for double digit hours. I would
Hmm.
limit it to 8 to 9 hours, but my focus this time would be on consistency
Hmm.
rather than, quantity.
Yeah.
It would be much more focused on quality. The other thing I did different was that uh, I analyzed myself and I came to this conclusion that I don't have a very good memory.
Hmm.
I tend to forget things very easily.
Okay.
Say if I would have read Lakshmikant twice or thrice, the fourth time it would be very much new to me. So I figured out the way that how I can clear this thing.
Hmm.
So this time I decided to make short notes of almost every principal standard book that are out there in market and that are referred to the aspirants.
Okay.
So that helped me to a great extent to memorize things very well, because I have some friends who are preparing, who are still in this journey, who have like pictographic memory, I would say. They would read Lakshmikant once and they would remember like almost 80 to 90% of the stuff. But that was not the case with me.
Hmm.
So again, that helped me to gauge my, what I would say a weakness that is there in me. But luckily, I found a way out of it. And it is generally said that you should not make notes out of bulky books like Lakshmikant, because in the end you would end up reprinting that whole book again.
Yeah.
So now at this stage, a lot of PYQ research helped me. I did a lot of PYQs, and that helped me understand like what are the prime areas or what are the prime sources from where questions are coming again and again. So the Lakshmikant, which is a, I would say, 500-page book, my notes are hardly of 100 pages, but at the same time they are of the most important 100 pages of that book.
Hmm.
So this is an example of polity only. I repeated this exercise in almost all of the subjects. So this thing I think helped me clear the prelims this time.
एब्सोल्युटली वंडरफुल कि आपने फोकस करके जो कोर प्रायोरिटी एरियाज है उनको आपने अपने नोट्स में बना लिया एंड देन ऑब्वियसली दोस नोट्स हेल्प यू रिवाइज फास्टर एंड डू थिंग्स बेटर.
And I think the core priority areas can be identified only by one source, that is PYQs. PYQs, I think
कितने
मैं
साल के
जितना
PYQs बात कर रहे थे?
sorry sir,
how many years of PYQs were you doing?
sir 2011 to 2023.
Okay. मतलब 2011 जहाँ से पैटर्न चेंज हुआ था हमारा थोड़ा,
Yes.
उसके बाद से आप कर रहे थे.
Yes, and almost of all subjects. But I would say that uh, this is like this worked in my case. I think when it comes to UPSC preparation, there is no gospel truth. Some things may have worked for me, but they won't work for others. In my case, this worked that I focused on 5 subjects and in lexical priority. First, polity. Second, economics. Third, geography. Fourth, environment. And fifth, modern history. So these were like the pillars of my preparation. 80% of my time, 80 rather I would say 90% of my time was devoted to these 5 subjects.
तो बाकी छोड़ दिए थोड़े साइंस एंड टेक एंड करंट अफेयर्स.
Sir, current affairs, I would say I completely eliminated this time. I was not reading newspapers. I was not in a FOMO situation regarding monthly magazines. It was 90% static. Definitely 10% sometimes you have to do because a lot of people around you are doing that stuff. And at some stage or other, you are a human. You are not a machine that you would feel that yaar wo kar raha hai, kal ko koi question aa gaya and I would miss the bus by one question. So definitely I was doing, but it was like very less and very less intensive exercise. My whole intensity was focused on static.
तो स्टैटिक में भी जैसे आपने एंशिएंट मेडिवल नहीं मेंशन किया है, तो यू स्किप दैट पार्ट और व्हाट डिड यू डू देयर?
Sir, I did, but like the 5 subjects I have mentioned right now, I made sure that I revised these subjects before prelims at least 5 times. I did a little bit of ancient history, but like then my focus was not on multiple rounds of revision because I know that cost benefit of that studying those things is very less.
Absolutely. तो करंट अफेयर्स के बारे में I would love to know more from you that you sort of 10% of your time और जितना भी आपने समय लगाया उस पे, तो क्या किया उसमें आपने?
Sir, it was primarily magazines. I completely eliminated newspapers from my life.
Magazine did you use?
Sir, PT 365.
ठीक है. And उसमें
But
क्या?
again, I would say that if you have time, you can read the magazines. But a much better approach, I would say, is that these days a lot of I think aspirants who could not make it, they make their own YouTube channels, and then they explain these magazines, like say in 4 hours the complete science and tech or complete polity PT 365 is done. So I, rather than reading those magazines, I prefer these videos because like in audio visual format it's always easier to learn and the focus is much more better. So PT 365s I did, but I did it in this manner, not by reading these PT 365s.
Absolutely awesome. क्योंकि I think you have also recognized कि this is what is working for me, this is what is not. Generally जैसे I would recommend कि जो audio visual वाली चीज होती है ना, बहुत सारे लोग उसमें ग्लॉस आउट कर देते हैं कि हाँ, बट यू हैड सॉल्व द एफिशिएंसी पार्ट फर्स्ट, कि अगर ध्यान देके पढ़ रहे हो तो ध्यान देके पढ़ रहे हो, वंस यू सॉल्व द एफिशिएंसी इट्स अ ग्रेट मीडियम टू लर्न।
Yes, yes, yes.
अगर आपने एफिशिएंसी सॉल्व नहीं करी तो बहुत आसान है कि भाई आप वीडियो लगा के और फिर मैं सो गया।
So that's why I made it a point that whenever I'll watch these videos, I'll generally used to walk so that I don't sleep. So all of these videos that I've watched, I used to walk all the time, walk in the veranda of my house, or I would go somewhere out in a park, and like while walking, I would watch these videos. So like my attention is at least there on the listening part. I Because otherwise, what you are saying, that I think you are like very much pinpointing the right thing, because sometimes this used to happen that I plugged in the earphones, I started a video, and then like 15-20 minutes later I would be sleeping.
तो कभी कभार तो मतलब आई थिंक इट्स अ ग्रेट वे टू स्लीप आल्सो, बिकॉज नींद नहीं आती पेपर से पहले।
Yes, yes, yes.
Are you one of those people जिसको पेपर से पहले थोड़ा स्लीप एंजाइटी वगैरह ये सब चीजें होती है, और हैव यू मतलब आसान रहता है ये सब?
सर जनरली ऐसा नहीं होता, मेरे को नींद बहुत अच्छी आती है, बट सिंस आई फेल्ड प्रीलिम्स ट्वाइस, this time there the anxiety levels were to a great extent very high, but then too I would not say that I could not sleep well. I did sleep for like I would say 4-5 hours good sleep. I was
मतलब
very much tensed regarding CSAT because I failed CSAT also twice, and
okay,
this despite having mathematics in class 12.
so how did you change your preparation, or what was your approach to CSAT? What changed in 2024?
Sir, one thing I came to know about the CSAT thing was that it's not as if I am very bad in maths, but my strategy regarding CSAT was not that good. So
Okay.
I made it a point. I tried to, juggle, reshuffle the strategy a lot. Uh, I was doing a lot of RCs, but then I was committing a lot of mistakes in my previous two attempts. This time, hardly I solved all of the RCs. Around 27 RCs were there this time in 2024 CSAT paper, and I solved all of the RCs. But I made it a point that out of 27, hardly I have the margin of error is only 4 to 5 RCs. So on any given day, I had to do 22 RCs right, so that I get around 50 marks from RCs only. So now the dependence on mathematics is very less. And in mathematics, the thing I have found with CSAT paper is that there are 10 to 12 relatively easier questions. I would say in my case, I would not say CSAT is a cakewalk. Even the 2024 paper, which was slightly easier than 2023 one, I found it a little bit difficult. A lot of people around me were saying कि इस बार तो वापस बहुत easy आ गया CSAT paper. I did not find it that way. For me, it was like medium difficult paper. But then the thing is that UPSC, what it very smartly does is that they will fit in the easier questions of CSAT between 2 or 3 difficult questions. So you start solving the paper, and if you get stuck in the hard question, so you will lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
So ego पे नहीं लेना है किसी भी चीज को. If you are not able to solve a CSAT question, accept it with very great humility. आगे बढ़ो and search for the easier questions. So I was lucky enough that I found around 10 to 12 easier questions, and that helped me to sail the CSAT board this time. But again, in this thing, I would say a lot of PYQs will help, and you should solve all of the RCs from 2011 till 2023. I would say that I solved all of the RCs at the very least 5 times. Even though the moment I started reading
Again,
sorry, sir.
You were repeating the same questions again, Sare.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Even though in some questions I remembered the answer, but then after 2 or 3 times when I used to remember the answer, ki okay, ye RC पढ़ के इसका answer ये, then I used to focus on this thing that okay, ये answer, इसका answer C है से. But the third or the fourth time I would see to it that why A, B, and D are not the answers. So this was the third or the fourth time my exercise was regarding this. कि ठीक है, आंसर तो मेरे को पता है, बट आंसर कोई जो नहीं है वो क्यों नहीं है, ये मैं देखता था.
I think वो जो inversion बोलते हैं इस चीज को, inversion is the very simple idea that this is the way, but why is this not the way when I think about it? So that I am also resolving a lot of the issues in my mind of what works and what doesn't work. And I think your journey has been sort of like that. तो Aditya, coming to mains की तैयारी जब आप कर रहे थे, तो I think you had mentioned Ayan Jain का वीडियो आपने देखा था. So what was your approach to mains? How did you approach answer writing? Like walk me through.
Sir, Ayan sir का approach तो थोड़ा difficult है. I think his knowledge base is very wide. My knowledge base is not that wide because I heard that in the same video that he used to write around 15 points in a 10 marker and 25 points in a 15 marker.
Yeah.
So I realized this that मेरा उतना knowledge base नहीं है कि मैं उतने points लिख सकूं. So I focused much more on what they say flow charts, diagrams, so that space management थोड़ा अच्छे से हो जाए mains के paper में. And then I used to focus a lot on examples.
Okay.
कि ठीक है point एक ही लिखा है भले, but उसमें अगर मेरे को लग रहा है कि I don't have much points regarding that. So what I would do was that I would mention 2 or 3 examples in the same point. So थोड़ा space management हो जाए. But for mains, I was confident from the very start that एक बार मेरे को mains लिखने का मौका मिल जाए, I'll do well. So mentally, I was at a much more in a stronger zone for mains.
So in mains, I'm assuming your optional was PSIR.
Yes, sir.
So PSIR में आपका क्या main core sources थे and like what were you doing over there?
Sir, I did a foundation course with someone. I restricted myself to his notes only. His notes were not only very comprehensive, but उनकी depth भी बहुत अच्छी थी notes की. तो वो मेरे लिए help करी. मेरा और कोई source as such नहीं था. They say that you can visit ORF websites, ICWA websites, but मैंने उतना pain कभी लिया नहीं कि मैं उन websites पे जाऊँ. Rather, my focus was a lot on revising things that are there in the foundation notes.
So इस पे भी I think वो Bill Gates का एक और quote रहता है, which is like, you find the lazy and smart people.
Yes.
They'll show you the easier paths to do it. So Nimish sir had some questions.
Yes.
So Aditya, one thing which came out in discussion is that you've been very smart in planning your journey. That after you did your graduation, आपने ये नहीं कहा कि जब मैं 1 साल fully prepare करने वाला हूँ, मैं बैठूंगा और तैयारी करूंगा. You didn't take that additional pressure.
Yes.
You said that, okay, now I'm going to start my masters. Along with that, I'm going to prepare.
Yes.
So do you think, एक ये burden कम करता है आप पे, pressure कम डाल देता है कि just opting for, like after graduation, you opted for masters and you also get time now to prepare. At the same time, you don't have additional pressure to deal with. Because why I'm saying this is because a lot of students in our mentorship come across that कि सर अब हमारी graduation खत्म हो रही है, अब हम 1 साल 2 साल पूरा dedicate करके पढ़ना चाहते हैं. And you basically saw that okay, plan B मेरा पहले ready है. How it worked for you?
Sir, I think मेरा जो academic break न लेने का decision था, that was driven by this thing only कि I want to secure a plan B at the very early. Since मेरा bachelor's in arts था, so I knew कि इसका market में इतना potential नहीं है, I would not get a very good job out of it. And so मेरा एक ये right from start ये clarity थी mind में कि मुझे बहुत जल्दी से जल्दी plan B अपना एक solidify कर लेना है. क्योंकि the family, the kind of family I'm coming from, वहाँ मेरे लिए financially independent होना जल्दी थोड़ा ज्यादा जरूरी था. So ये decision JNU जाने का बहुत हद तक उससे भी driven था कि it would give me a plan B. And it gave me a plan B to a great extent because I worked in Defense Ministry as a research intern for 2 months. Wahan I got into this thing of think tanks and research-based organizations. So wahan I realized this thing that okay, my plan B can be this, but then at the same time, since the goal was always UPSC, so मैंने उसे कभी छोड़ा नहीं. I was preparing in a parallel manner, both for my masters and both for my UPSC.
Now, that is where I would come to the next part. It turned out to be a very good decision for you. Why? Because you see, 21, 22, you were unable to clear prelims. And after you did your post-graduation 24, now you've got secured All India rank 96. Now, अगर हम गवर्नमेंट का डॉक्यूमेंट एक देखें मिशन कर्मी होगी, उसमें एक आइडियल सिविल सर्वेंट कैसा होना चाहिए वो डिस्क्रिप्शन है. ठीक है, क्रिएटिव होना चाहिए, प्रोएक्टिव होना चाहिए. Do you think that the kind of exposure you got in JNU, while you said that 1 year was very important for you, did it help you to inculcate those qualities to overcome the elimination phase of prelims?
Sir, I would say yes, to a great extent. Both in terms of UPSC also and both in terms of personality development also. JNU was very important for me. In terms of personality development, since I told you that I was an introvert kind of guy, one, I got to meet a lot of diverse set of people. So वहाँ वो introvertness थोड़ा, it started to dial down. And then since in JNU the preparation of UPSC is like very widespread, you get to see a lot of people preparing, so you get to learn a lot out of them, ki what you are doing wrong and what other people are doing right. And I must say at this stage that it's not only the successful people who at the end of the day end up clearing UPSC, they are doing things right, but also a lot of people who could not clear, they are also doing certain things right, but then maybe luck was not in their favor, or their day was not when the examination was going on. So I used to learn a lot even from the people who have failed this examination. So वहाँ I used to talk to them कि like what is your approach of study. And वहाँ मैंने सबसे ज़्यादा important चीज मैंने जो सीखी वो यही थी कि भाई 12 घंटे पढ़ने से तो नहीं होगा. You need to do a lot of other things so that जो stress यहाँ पे create हो रहा है वो थोड़ा कम हो. So that thing pushed me towards this thing कि you study 7 to 8 hours or say 9 hours, but you study in a focused manner और उससे आउटपुट अच्छा निकले. सो वहां मैंने क्वांटिटी को डायल डाउन करके क्वालिटी पे फोकस किया.
Right.
और वो मैंने जेएनयू से ही सीखा, अपने पीयर्स से, अपने बैचमेट्स से, अपने सीनियर्स और अपने जूनियर्स से.
Right. So one of the things,
what were some of the other things that you learned from your peers in JNU? मतलब something that helped you along the way that you did not know at all कि भाई ये भी होता है.
सर आई थिंक एक चीज जो मैंने अपने पीयर्स, स्पेशली मेरे जो फ्रेंड्स है जेएनयू का, जो मेरा कोर फ्रेंड सर्कल है, उससे ये सीखी है कि थोड़ा तो आपको जो निष्काम कर्म वाली थोड़ी फिलॉसफी है, आई थिंक वो बहुत बड़ा टर्म है मेरे लिए यहाँ बोलने के लिए, बट एट सम स्टेज और अदर यू नीड टू डिटैच योरसेल्फ फ्रॉम रिजल्ट. थोड़ा आपको ज्यादा प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड होना पड़ेगा. मच प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड, देन द एंड इट वुड फेच यू बेटर रिजल्ट्स. मैं अपने प्रीवियस 2 अटेम्प्ट्स में रिजल्ट का ज्यादा सोचता था, प्रोसेस का कम सोचता था. पढ़ने के बाद या पढ़ने से पहले मेरे दिमाग में ये रहता था कि ओके अगर बन गया तो ये होगा, नहीं बना तो ये हो जाएगा. बट इन दिस टाइम like I was very much relieved to a great extent regarding the result. Definitely थोड़ी बहुत nervousness होती है because the stakes are very high in this examination and a lot of people are expecting a lot from you. But this time at a personal level, I was very much at calm with myself. कि okay, by God's grace I got to give, reach to that level where it is dream of many. So वो मेरी एक चीज दिमाग में थी. That thing I have learned, I would say from JNU only, that you need to be much more process oriented rather than outcome oriented.
Right. And that is where many think that aptitude सिर्फ एग्जाम में चेक होता है, सिर्फ CSAT में चेक होता है. एक तो वो GS1 में भी चेक होता है और preparatory phase में भी चेक होता है. So I think so you are one who has imbibed that, understood that, वो changes लाने की कोशिश की throughout your journey. And because of that, see, because this is an eliminating phase, you said that prelims is one of the most difficult phase which you've encountered. Because it does not look at your knowledge and everything, it just wants to eliminate bulk and then filter out few. So I think so वो aptitude हर level में बहुत important है.
Yes.
So Aditya, along your journey, where did you encounter UPSCprep.com? You were part of मतलब interview guidance के साथ थे हमारे साथ, but उसके अलावा कहीं कुछ आपने देखा, anything that helped?
Sir, I would very honestly say that.
To be honest, मतलब कोई मतलब पत्थर लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Sir, I would very honestly say कि मैं YouTube से ही I came across your channel through YouTube only. I would say that in terms of academic sense मैं इतना ज्यादा नहीं जुड़ा हुआ था UPSC prep से. वो preparation sense में मैं interview stage पे UPSC prep से जुड़ा. But otherwise, sometimes the kind of strategy videos that you come out with, कि this should be your approach towards exam, this should be your strategy towards exam. अभी I think 2-3 days पहले आपने कुछ ऐसा वीडियो एक डाला था of around 7-8 minutes. I'm not precisely remembering the title of that video, but for UPSC prep I think it was like much more a channel where I seek strategic help. What should be my strategy, what should be my approach regarding this examination? Because one thing I encountered very early on after my second prelims failure कि मेरे hard work में शायद कहीं कमी नहीं, जो कमी है मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी या मेरा अप्रोच इस एग्जामिनेशन की टुवर्ड्स गलत है. क्योंकि आई वुड से कि दिस मस्ट बी दैट अटेम्प्ट जहां पे मैं बहुत कम पढ़ा हूं रिलेटिवली. अपने प्रीवियस अटेम्प्ट्स में आई वुड फ्लॉग इन लाइक 11 to 12 hours very consistently, but this time I significantly decreased that amount to say 7 or 8 hours on an average. Towards the examination 9 to 10 hours. तो जो अप्रोच चेंज रहा वो मेरा कुछ हद तक यूपीएससी प्रेप और स्पेशली आप ही की वीडियोस से मैंने सीखा. और आई थिंक द फर्स्ट टाइम PYQs का क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है वो भी मैंने आपके चैनल पे ही देखा था.
So, like, absolutely glad that you found them helpful. So, coming to the interview phase, I think tell us a little bit about how you approach that. And I think Nimish sir के साथ इस पे ज़्यादा बात करते हैं because he's been guiding, leading
So,
our guidance program.
right,
Yes, sir.
Aditya.
I remember very well the questions that were asked, and I would say कि एक question I think निमिष sir ने पूछा था या there was some other person in the panel, the online panel. They asked me this question regarding the difference between evolution of cats and dogs or something related to
Yes.
cats and dogs were asked, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
Yeah,
If my
Ketan
memory
sir
serves
asked.
me.
Ketan sir asked him.
हाँ,
I
so,
have the questions in front of me. Yes, yes.
हाँ, so I think that same question was repeated as it is in the exam in my main interview
Absolutely. Nice.
regarding differences between cats and dogs.
Well, that is rare.
Yeah, that is.
Like, you know,
I was lucky in that terms.
Yeah.
So मेरा interview experience UPSC prep के साथ तो बहुत अच्छा रहा. It was, I think, the best thing was that maybe since that was in the online manner, the best thing was कि no one was in a hurry. कि यार चलो, this is a candidate, इसे निपटाना है. I think वो चीज यहाँ मेरे को feel नहीं हुई. The process was very smooth. बहुत आराम से questions पूछे गए. Definitely a lot of knowledge intensive questions were there to test the patience, to test the integrity कि अगर कुछ नहीं आता है तो honestly बता दे रहा है क्या कि नहीं आ रहा है. So the interview guidance experience with UPSC prep was, I would say, very good. And this is not I am not saying this because I am sitting here on your channel with you, but I am saying this because I genuinely feel this, that the experience was very good.
So I was just saying that, had the score been 173 to 193, you would have been in top 35. I do understand the disappointment.
Yes.
But of course, as you said, I'll come again. I'll come again strong. I know you will. But you also, when I have the feedback in front of me, you were good. And I am also surprised that how come, as you said, that you were expecting more than 185. Sometimes it's the board as well. And sometimes it's the feeling with which you leave. It could be like one person who might be on not being convinced enough. So rather not be disappointed and taking it in a way that, yes, I did well throughout. And you are a personality, irrespective of service, you will do exceedingly well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Abhijit sir also...
the thing in my mind is that, okay, I can control my mains marks. I know 812 is good, but again, that is not up to my expectations. I targeted 850 plus. So I am ready to take the onus, the responsibility of my mains marks. But at present, what I'm feeling is that interview was something that was not in my control completely, in a complete fashion. I prepared very well. I was honest in many terms, even while the interview was going on. And it was not as if they were in a hurry. My interview was well around 35 minutes. I would say more than 35 minutes. Because I entered at around 11 and I left at around 11:40, I would say. So it was around 35-37 minutes. Mera interview chala. And I had never, even one point I felt ki I am being cornered, I am being under pressure. I took that in a very good stride. But I think that's why the disappointment regarding the interview marks is much more. I am very, with very humbly, I'm ready to take onus of my mains marks. But at this stage, I'm not able to, contemplate what went wrong in the interview. I think that is the source from where disappointment is coming. Right. That I cannot understand, I cannot know what wrong I did there, that it was a 173 and not a 193. Source of disappointment वो है कि ये नहीं समझ आ रहा mistake कहाँ हो, number कम आए.
Yeah, on the contrary, so there are few who say that we don't know about हमारा interview हुआ कैसा. We are not convinced enough. Like it went for 20 minutes, but I'm not happy. And then they end up getting 200 plus. Yes, so sometimes, of course, board members and how one takes it, एक भी अगर opinion आ जाता है जो against है, sometimes it can pressurize the board member, the chairman of the board, to take a decision which might go against you. something which is we cannot control the uncontrollable, right? But I'm, still the effort you've put. We've worked in many dimensions. I remember that your specialization was mostly on East Asian studies,
Yes,
Taiwan, and a lot of questions are reflected on East Asian studies. But then you said your interview went into ethical dimensions.
completely ethics. They were not asking. I think they must have guessed कि यार IR तो उसको पता होगा. Let's test him in some other domain. I think that was the mindset of the interview.
Right. So Vijit sir would also like to know, because we both are people who love reading also and love recommending books also. But then you are a person who've gone through, given you're an international relations student, a lot of reading would have gone also in last few years. Any one book which you feel that you've read has remained with you, and at the same time would like to recommend to someone, maybe a young aspirant who's preparing, not UPSC specific, just something which you've read, which you really liked, and would like to recommend anything?
Sir, I would say I remember this book very fondly. The Long Game by our former Foreign Secretary
Yes.
Vijay Gokhale sir. I think that is the book. That is that one rare book which is written by a civil servant. But when you read it, you'll feel that it has been written by a scholar.
If I may show it to the people who are. Very good book, The Long Game
Yes,
by Vijay Gokhale.
Yes.
Sir, he former foreign secretary, also former ambassador to China, and his
Yes, sir.
how India negotiates with the Chinese. A very good book. Yeah.
I think this is the book that once you read it, you will not feel that it has been written by a civil servant. Rather, you will feel that it is the scholarly tinge in this book is very great. And then I went on to read all of his books that he has written.
Absolutely wonderful.
After Tiananmen, I think these are the couple of books. Apart from it, recently I came across this book by J. Sai Deepak. I felt it was also very good. Definitely, there are some political leanings definitely there. But then, if you read it with an open mind, you'll like it. The scholarly effort there is also great.
I think what is the book? India That is Bharat.
Yes, India That is Bharat. The trilogy. Two books have come out.
Yeah.
Two books have come out. The third will be coming soon.
Right. So I think parallelly, we also like to recommend people that they read a book. So after this is done, we'd love to take your address and send you a book. So what I'd recommend that you read is a great book by another foreign secretary, retired. It's Sham Saran, How India Sees China and the World.
Sir, How India Sees China and the World. I think I read one of his earlier books. I'm not sure whether I've read this book. But I have one book by Sham Saran, sir. I can show you if you give me the permission.
Please do.
It will take just 1 second.
Please.
I think this.
Yeah.
This is a great book. Again, a great book.
I think this was the book that I was recommending. So he has also a counter to this.
Yes.
Which is How China Sees India and the World. So I think either that, or I think what you can also gain from something. There's a book. It's a bit niche in that it's by a guy called Tilak Devashar. Now, Tilak Devashar is somebody who was a special secretary to the Cabinet Secretariat, which is code word for RAW.
Yes.
And he has written a lot of books on Pakistan.
Yes.
So I think the name of the book, let me just...
The Balochistan Conundrum.
Yeah.
Something by this.
Balochistan Conundrum is there, but I think Porting the Abyss.
Porting the Abyss, yes, sir, yes.
So you've read that also?
No, I have not read that, but I know about this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so lovely. We'd love to send those. Yeah.
There's another very good book. I don't know if you've read. It's The Fractured Himalaya, India, Tibet, and China by the Nirupama Rao.
Nirupama Menon Rao. Yes,
yeah.
I know about this book. But
very good book.
These are all the sets that I have kept in my bucket list. And I always had this in mind that the day I clear this examination, after that I'll read these books.
So chalo, abhi I think you'll also be preparing for prelims again.
Yes, sir.
So Aditya, before we end this, we would love one piece of advice from you to somebody who has just started preparation. बिल्कुल शुरुआत करी है तैयारी की, तो क्या advice करोगे उनको?
Sir, two things I would say. One, at the term of mental level, I would say कि motivation के पीछे ज़्यादा मत भागो. Don't go behind these reels and all, royal entries and things. Rather, focus much more on consistency. Consistency on any given day is important. Motivation 2-3 दिन रहेगा. जब वो बोरियत kick in होगी preparation की, तो वो motivation सब हवा हो जाएगा. So consistency is much more important than motivation, I would say. The other thing I would say is that do a lot of PYQs, then do focus much more on static as compared to current affairs, as per your own understanding regarding this examination, and then revise a lot. I think these three things are very important.
Right. So with that, I think we'll end this session. Thank
Yes.
you for your time. It's been wonderful talking to you, and thank you for your honesty. मतलब तुमने बहुत सारी point अपने बताया कि भी क्या था, क्यों था, कैसे था, and like we appreciate that a lot, क्योंकि मतलब आज की डेट में ये वाली भी बहुत चीज यूपीएससी की सिस्टम में चलती है कि मतलब मेरा टॉपर ये वो, we really don't like to do that, and like absolutely grateful to you for sharing honestly all your opinions and where we can improve and change things. And we do really hope that you clear again and we get to have a chat one more time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aditya, and best wishes.
Thank you, sir.